Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan. Let's talk Attack on Titan. Let's talk a little Attack on Titan on this live stream here. Let me do a couple of things. All right. So, tonight's Attack on Titan episode, season 4, episode 12. A little bit of a mixed bag for me. What I've been noticing about this show in season 4 in particular is starting to come to a head more and more and more. I'm starting to notice the things I don't like more and more and more. And it's like I don't really quite know what to make of it. There's some stuff missing for me as far as the quality of the show. I think the plot is interesting as far as figuring out what's the deal with Zeke's plans, and I think what's going on with Zeke is highly interesting at the moment. However, for me, we need to really get down to that to really get the action going, and I'll point out a few of those things as I move along with this review. But this episode was interesting because we start out in with Armin being a freaking peeping Tom. I mean, he's sneaking a peek. He's doing some weird stuff down there with Annie. He's like, "Oh yeah, I just want to touch so I can see some memory stuff." The hell you mean? So he's down there trying to get freaky with Annie, and I'm like, "Okay, Armin, I guess puberty did hit you, cause you down here trying to get freaky." So I didn't. It kind of started off a little bit awkward. This whole Annie and this whole Annie and Armin thing, I don't really love. I'm still kind of confused about it. I suspect that it's Bert Holt's memories, but that's still just not really cutting no mustard for me. I suspect that she should be maybe awakening soon, and we may get the female Titan back. So I'll be happy when Annie's finally awake. But as of right now, this Armin and Annie stuff's not doing it for me, and that may be the theme on tonight, not doing it for me. So as we move on, we get, like I said, Armin being a goddamn peeping Tom. I don't know what's up with that. Then we get Mikasa coming through, and they starting to notice that the people are really not messing with the military right now. People are really loving Eren, and they're really backing Eren. And then we get this scene here where Yelena, and forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that, but Yelena's in Pixis is talking, and she just admits, "Hey, we met with Eren." I sat down with Aaron and I talked to him and, I discussed some things. And then she tries to play it off like I just wanted to meet him and I wanted him to know who I am. But Pixis was like, wait a minute, you mean to tell me you went down there and talked and didn't have no concrete plans? Nah, that don't make no sense to me. So we know that Yelena's been, relaying messages between Zeke and Aaron, and she's, helping to manipulate Aaron, and kind of lead this attack, this coordinated attack, and keeping Aaron and Zeke together. Um, she's a suspicious character. I mean, she completely infiltrated. Yeah, she completely infiltrated the military. She's in a very powerful position, even though she was a goddamn outsider, and she's really manipulating things right now from the outside, which I find to be a little bit troubling, as Pixis would later state. It's a little bit troubling that she was able to get so high up in the ranks, not the ranks, but in such a position of leverage that she can get away with some of the things that she's getting away with. Then we got my girl Hanji. They putting so much stress on my girl Hanji. It's really bringing me to tears. I don't like the stress that Hanji is under right now, but she's no Commander Irwin. Let's just be honest. She's no Commander Irwin, and things are kind of falling apart under her watch, which is causing her a little bit of a breakdown. But she's doing the best she can to keep things together, but things are just getting tough. She meets with the black guy here. I hate to call him the black guy. They're having this meeting and she's kind of keeping an eye on him. I hate to call him the black guy. It's just hard for me to pronounce his name, Young Compone or something like that. So it's just hard for me to say that. So I just call him the black guy. I need to give him a nickname like Old Dog or something like that. Call him Old Dog, or cause I would have called him in the hood. So. But yeah, he seems to be a decent character. He goes into some detail as far as, Yelena's backstory, showing that um she's a murderous individual. Like she's not innocent. There's nothing innocent about her. She's a killer. And um, she proved her loyalty and kind of came up showing her worth to Zeke. So she's dangerous. That's what this conversation basically solidifies, is that Yelena is dangerous. Then we got Mikasa and Armin up there begging the premier to talk to Aaron. And the premier's like, no. And the reason I agree with the premier here is because he said the situation's too sensitive right now. And it really is. You got people infiltrating. You got people, doing things behind people's backs. We don't really know completely what's going on. So sending Mikasa and Armin down there to talk to Aaron, I can see how the commander was like, you know what? That's a no-go right now because the situation is simply too sensitive. So I get that. It'll be the last decision he ever makes because they snuck a bomb in. They snuck a bomb in to his office. Some recruits that have switched sides and started working with Eren Yeager, and they blew him to smithereens. They blew his ass to smithereens. So now these people are murderers. They're killing military officials now. See, this is terrible. This is terrible in my opinion. It really is. It really is. So they almost caught Mikasa and Armin in the explosion. Almost caught them in the explosion. They were able to survive. Luckily, barely through the skin of their teeth, they were able to survive. And the crowd was outside chanting, let's do this. Give our hearts. Give your hearts. The people have turned on the establishment. The people have definitely turned on the establishment. So they're definitely down with Eren Yeager right now. So here's the man of the hour. We get Eren Yeager. He escaped from prison. He apparently he used his Titan powers to escape. I wish we would have got that scene, but he escapes. He walks up the hill. He's got his hair all slicked back. He's got his fucking GQ model boy shit going on. And he puts on this jacket here in this, I guess, an iconic pose of Aaron's villainy. Now, in my opinion, his complete villainy. I don't know where he's got this 8-pack. I guess he's been doing crunches the whole time. But shout out to him. Shout out to him. So yeah, I guess Aaron Yeager is a complete villain now, which I loved his villainy when it was aimed towards Marley. Truth be told, I do not like the villainy as it's being aimed at other Eldians. I'm really not a fan of that. So that's kind of bothering me in a lot of ways. I told y'all last week I don't like Aaron ever since he grabbed Hanji at the cell. I really stopped fucking with him after that, quite honestly. So then we have this meeting here. And this meeting is interesting because Commander Pixis basically says that, hey, we're going to have to kind of work with these people until we figure out what's going on because we've been outclassed up until this point, which I feel like is a very logical conversation. We begin to definitely start calling the people who align themselves with Aaron Yeager the Yeagerist, which, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if Yeagerist is doing it for me, but okay, it's repeatable, so I guess it's okay. But they're Yeagerist, and we don't really know who's Yeagerist. And quite honestly, if I'm any sort of military official, I would look at Hanji and definitely Mikasa and Armin as Yeagerist as well. I really would. I mean, what evidence do we have to suggest that they're not? Now let's talk about something, you guys. I don't want to be the guy. I don't want to be the guy. For those who do not know, I am the Black Guru. What I offer is sage wisdom. I do not want to be the guy, but I have to. The artwork in this episode was not very good, and particularly in this scene. I don't know who did the artwork for this scene, but the shit was awful. And I mean awful. It was awful. Commander Pixis, he was looking like a damn Titan half the time. Look at this picture. Look at this picture. He looks like a Titan. He looks similar to the Titans we've seen in some of those other earlier seasons. I mean, the artwork was so all over the place, so inconsistent, so much so that if you go back and watch this scene, you'll see the back of a lot of people's heads. You'll see the back of a lot of heads because the artwork on the faces were just terrible. I mean, look at this. This shit, I mean, come on. Look at this, you guys. Like I said, I'm not trying to be the guy who wants to keep talking about the differences between the studio switching. We get it. The studio switched. Okay, cool. I don't want to keep bringing that up and being negative about it or anything. But at times, it does interfere with my experience of the show. And this scene was one of them. I mean, just look at Pixis, bro. Look at these pictures of Pixis. I threw my hands up in the air. I said, this shit is unacceptable. It really is. It's unacceptable. Pixis looks nothing like this in the first 3 seasons. But I just want to make that known. It's pretty ridiculous in my opinion. Here's something that's not doing it for me, and it's this Mikasa's clan thing. It's not doing anything for me. When they had this scene here where she was begging Mikasa to come back, and Mikasa was basically saying you can't be trusted because of your positionality. You guys look like bunny hungry individuals. And Mikasa was like, so I can't trust you. And the ladies all like, oh yeah, I mean, you're right. We are money hungry, but we just want everything to work. Just this whole scene did nothing for me. This whole storyline, Mikasa with the tattoo, that shit has done nothing for me since they unveiled it. And I'm not swayed any way behind this shit at the moment. I'm gonna have to see a lot more, really, with this storyline before I'm invested in it. Right now, it has 0 bits of my attention. I'm completely not invested in it. It's very one-notish to me. and she's begging Mikasa to come, and she's somebody of importance. It's just not hitting home for me yet. It may, but just not yet. Then we get a conversation that I feel like is important because they look at Mikasa and basically ask, whose side are you on? Which we understand Mikasa is always torn behind Eren. She's always been torn behind what to do with Eren. So, you look at this and you say, well, is Mikasa going to have to become a Jaegerist herself? Is she going to fight against Eren? I don't know, but this scene was very important to me because I think Mikasa has an incredible choice she's going to have to make in the not too distant future. So we get a little bit more of Yelena's plan, how she's been hiding people out. And then we get the big, big reveal. Peck. Peck is in the walls. How does she get there? I don't know. But she's there. She's there hiding out. So whatever Zeke's plan is, it's going off without a hitch right now. Zeke's plan is working effectively. This is about the biggest moment of tonight's episode for me. I jumped out of my chair. I said, "What the fuck?" So I'm expecting some business to pick up on next week's episode. Because if Peck is there, then who knows what the ultimate plan is. Now, My thoughts on the episode overall is that, hey, good episode. Good, a lot of information being unfolded. The plan of Zeke is kind of being unfolded step by step. I love all of that stuff. The problem I'm having is that season 4 is not giving me what I need from Attack on Titan. At times it does. But notice this, you guys. One thing that has been missing in Attack on Titan this season has been the introspection. Now, if you remember the earlier seasons of Attack on Titan, there was a lot of introspection, meaning that you could hear the character thoughts a lot. You could always be inside of a character's head in any situation. We would spend a lot of time inside of Mikasa's head. The internal dialogue of Mikasa, the internal dialogue of Eren, the internal dialogue of Armin. We spent a lot of time with that internal dialogue. Now we do not get that as much anymore. We get a lot of straightforward shit, and I don't love it. I just don't love it. I think it takes a dimension away from the show. Also, another thing that I'm struggling with is that that Falco character. The Falco character, he's sworn allegiance to Eren now. But if we remember, the last time we seen Falco and Eren, Falco was actually chewing Eren and Armin out at the end of season 3. He was chewing them out about being the ones who didn't allow Commander Erwin to be resurrected. And he was in Armin's face about that, and he was in Eren's face about that. Okay, so when did Falco have this change of heart? Not Falco, but Fauch, if that's his name. I'm maybe mispronouncing it. But when did he have this change of heart to where now he's an Eren loyalist? When the fuck did that happen? When the fuck did that happen? Because the last time we seen him, he was a Commander Erwin loyalist. So why would he turn his back on the fucking scouts? Why would he turn his back on all of that? That's my thing. Like, I don't understand where he gets off doing that. So that's kind of confusing to me. It's abrupt to me. It's a very hard character switch. And for me, we're getting a lot of very hard character switches. That I believe, the manga probably handled some of that stuff better. I don't know. I haven't read the manga, but Flock. Okay. Yeah. Flock. I don't understand what's going on with Flock. He's, like I said, the last time we seen Flock, he was handling the group up for their decision that they make, and the mutiny. He almost called them like mutinists. But then he reverses course and says, "Hey, you know, I'm loyal to you, and I'm ready to kill the premier behind Aaron Yeager." It's just weird to me. There's a piece missing. Is all I'm saying. So I'm excited for next week's episode for sure. I like this episode. Did I love it? Um, I like last week's episode a lot more than I like this week's episode. Um, some of the internal politics of what's going on in Eldia right now is not doing it for me. Um, I guess Historia being pregnant, that remains to be that remains to be seen. So I just I want to get a couple more episodes in before I give an overall synopsis. But right now, between some of the knee-jerk storytelling, the lack of introspection that we've got in previous seasons of Attack on Titan, and also the artwork, I'm feeling a little bit of a wanting more. Like I'm in a place where I want more right now, and hopefully we get that in the upcoming episodes. I'm a big Attack on Titan fan. I'm a mark for Attack on Titan, but it's just I want a little bit more to sink my teeth into that I normally get from this franchise. So for those who do not know, I am the Black Guru. What I offer is sage wisdom. Follow the Black Guru if you don't already. Keep those hearts flying, and I appreciate everybody's time. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. One love.